new music teacher here at Boone Meadow. It's been awesome teaching your kids to enjoy music this year, and we've got a lot of fun activities to share with you. So thank you for coming into my classroom for our very first Informance. Every year we'll try and do a program of some kind, and for first and second grade it's going to look like an Informance with a small audience to kind of help us as we get warmed up to the idea of being on a big stage. All right? Now kids, you can stand up. We're going to sing a hello song. And in this song, we're going to break the ice a little bit by giving high fives and handshakes to the audience so that we all get to know each other a little bit. And kids, at the beginning when we say hello to the parents, you can turn around and you can wave to your mom or dad or whoever you want, okay? I'll grab the guitar. By the way, this is just a little bonus for this group. This is my wife over here and my little boy Ryder. And back there is our 3-week-old baby girl, Selah Rose, too. So it'll be kind of fun. They're going to join and see you guys make music, too, today. Kids are really excited. Okay, you guys ready? All right, sing nice and strong. This is our hello song. Here we go.
Hello, friends.
Kids, let's give them a round of applause. Now parents, I'm going to try and make it really easy to know when to clap by putting up a little picture. Whenever you see this, you'll know to clap, okay? All right. Now every year, I like to teach music using 4 what I call pillars of music. And those are the steady beat, the rhythm, the melody, and the harmony. And in today's Informance, we'll go through each one of those and what they mean. Now kids, I haven't seen you in a few weeks because of spring break, so it's going to be a real test to see if you remember your definitions. Okay? Let's start with the steady beat. Ready, go.
The steady beat is a pulse that stays the same speed.
That's right, a pulse that stays the same speed. Great job. And we're going to do an activity called Monkey See and Monkey Do. In this activity, we'll have some student leaders create their own beat motions while we sing a song. Now, if your kid isn't featured in this piece here at the beginning, they will be featured at the end as monkeys on our last song. So we've got monkeys either way. We've got monkeys at the beginning and monkeys at the end. So Elizabeth, are you ready to start us off?
Yeah.
All right. And parents, feel free to keep a beat too if you want. Ready and sing.
Oh my goodness, I declare, there's a monkey in a chair. Copy her because it's true. Monkey see and monkey do.
All right, great job. Okay, Lydia's next. 1, 2, ready and go.
Oh my goodness, I declare,
steady beat like that can be tricky. It's even hard for some grown-ups to keep a steady beat. So good job, guys. Well done. All right, let's move on to our next pillar of music.
Dun, dun, dun.
I love that. The rhythm. Ready, go.
The rhythm is the long and short notes and rests that fit inside the beat.
Great job. You know, we're already reading music in first grade, and I'm going to show you how we do that, starting with rhythms. We'll be doing some rhythm identification and rhythm cards. Now, students, when you know what rhythm's on the screen, I want you to just call it out. You don't need to raise your hand or anything, okay? All right, what rhythm is that one?
Quarter note.
Quarter note. Good. How about this one?
Quarter rest.
Quarter rest. Good.
Eighth note.
Yep, that's what 1/8 note looks like. And how about this?
Eighth note.
Yeah, 2/8 notes together. Good. How about this?
Half
A half note. Good. And this is a
rest.
half rest. Good job. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take these rhythms, put them together in rhythm cards. This is an exercise that we do, and the kids will be clapping and speaking their rhythm. So you guys ready? All right. Let's move on to our next pillar of music.
Dun, dun, dun.
The melody. And let's define melody together. Here we go. The melody is
the high and low pitches that fit inside the beat.
If you're wondering what a pitch is when you take a note and you put it on a staff, like a 5-line staff. You might notice this like it's just music notation. So anytime you take like a quarter note or 1/8 notes and put it on a staff, it becomes a pitch. Okay, we'll be doing 3 activities here. Singing technique warm-up, do, re, mi from The Sound of Music, and melody card. So kids, let's stand up, and I want you to show your audience how not to stand when you sing. Good, okay. Let's fix it using the singing technique warm-up. 2, ready, go.
Stand tall, back straight, feet flat, that's great. Face front, concentrate. Stand tall, back straight, feet flat, that's great. Face front, concentrate. Stand tall, back straight, feet flat, that's great. Face front, concentrate. Stand tall, back straight, feet
Maybe the grown-ups, when you guys were kids, you might remember singing with solfege, the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, maybe in choir class or something like that. We're doing it a little differently. We're going to use what I call body signs. And the reason we use body signs in lower elementary in first and second grade is because body signs really emphasize the difference between low and high pitches. So you'll see the kids as they sing this song showing you their motions for solfege. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, ready, go.
Go, a deer, a female deer. Ray, a drop of golden sun. Me, a name I call myself. Far, a long way to run. So, a needle pulling thread. One, a note to follow so. Tea, a drink of jam and bread. That'll bring us back to do. Oh, 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 do. A deer, a female deer. Ray, a drop of golden sun. Me, a name I call myself. Fly, a long way to run. So, a needle pulling thread. One, a note to follow so. Tea, a drink with jam and bread. That'll bring us back to do. Oh, oh, oh.
Well done, guys. Okay, now just like we did rhythm cards before to read music, now we're going to make it a little more tricky by adding high and low pitches. This is called melody cards. Again, we'll be using those same body signs we just used, but this time we'll be reading it from the page or from the screen. Now in level 1, we're using only me and so. So kids, I'd like you to turn and talk with your partner and show each other where me and so are. Okay, eyes back up front. Now this is what a melody card looks like. And I'm sure some of us in here are musical or have music backgrounds, but maybe not everybody. So I'm going to explain just a little bit about how we read music and what these symbols mean. I've already told you that the 5 lines going across the page are a music staff. And music staffs help us know if pitches are high or low. Okay? We also have a treble clef. And a treble clef tells us we're going to be using our high singing voices. That's great because in elementary school everyone has high singing voices, so we all use treble clef. Now in middle school that's going to change, and some people will have a bass clef, but in elementary school we'll stick with treble clef. Then this 4/4 is called a time signature, and it tells us that we're going to have 4 beats, here represented by hearts. Okay? And we separate our staff by bar lines, which gives us a whole measure. So anyways, there's just some vocabulary for you guys. Each melody card is a measure of music, and every time we do anything with solfege, we have to ask ourselves a very important question. And that question is,
Where is do?
well, I'm glad you asked. You see, do is right here. Now it could go anywhere I want because it's actually called movable do. So it's up to the teacher to decide. Now I've decided that I want do right here. And this indicates an invisible line going across the bottom of the staff. And any pitch that goes through that invisible line is do. Well, once you know where do is, you can figure out where every other pitch is. So kids, can you do this one? Okay. You'll also hear me, I've recorded my voice, and you'll notice I'm using a kid voice, my high singing voice, to match their voices too. So, all right, here we go, guys. Good. All right, look at this one here. We're going to double up those so's. Here. 1, 2, ready, go. move on now to level 2, adding la. So show your turn talk partner where is la.
This is la.
Okay, eyes back up front. What's our first pitch, kids?
La.
We'll take a look at it. What is it?
Slow.
So is our first pitch. Okay, here we go. Good. This uses all 3 pitches. And let's flip it around. Well done. And our last level, level 3, uses the pitches do, re, and mi. So kids, you can stand up. Show your partners where do, re, and mi are. Alright, eyes on the screen. Now everybody look at this card. This is actually a tricky one. This is a bit of a tricky one for us. So really look at it close. Alright, here we go. Good. And our last melody card for today. Good job, guys. Yep, you can sit down. Now, I'm really thinking as I'm developing these music lessons about, the future and before we know it, these kids will be, getting older and, you'll have to go to middle school and high school and everything. So the skills that we're learning today in 1st grade are going to help us. For example, what you just did will help you in choir when you're in 5th grade to know how to sing just by sight. So those are some of the skills we're working on really right from the start. So now the next step in melody would be to add letters. So our instruments, for example, whether they're xylophones or a piano or recorders or a guitar, those you have to know what the letters are. So a musical alphabet is like A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. We're not quite there yet, but we will be soon. All right, it's time for our last pillar of music.
Dun, dun, dun.
The harmony. This is a new one for us. We've only been working on harmony for a few weeks. So I'm going to put the definition on the board here. And I want you guys to say it with me, and we'll see if you can remember your motions, okay? All right, here we go. The harmony is when 2 or more pitches are played or sung at the same time. Good job. We're going to do a little bit of a set change here. So kids, you sit tight for just a minute. In a moment, the kids are going to be playing on our brand new instruments. So parents, if you're over here, if you'll just move over to this side. And then kids, what you're going to do is you're going to go pick an instrument. It doesn't matter which instrument you pick, as long as we have kids in each of the rows. So let's make sure we just have kids in each row. Got it? All right, you may come over to an instrument. We won't be taking any notes off quite yet. Good. I like that we have some people filling in these other rows too. Perfect. Yes, good. Excellent. Okay. These are brand new instruments, and I'll tell you more about them in just a minute, but they really sound beautiful. And today you're going to hear some harmony where each student is playing on different notes from each other. Now, the notes, kids, are on the white pieces of paper on all the instrument stands. Okay? Your note will probably be different from the people next to you. So look at your two notes on your table. Find those two notes on your instrument. You got your notes?
Yeah.
Everybody see what their notes are?
Yep.
Okay. Now to create harmony, I'm going to have the first row roll, which is where they take their mallets really quickly. They're going to roll on their first note. Then I'm going to add the second row while the first row is still playing. I'll add the third row while everybody else is still playing. We'll add the fourth row and the fifth row, all playing that first note. Then when I say switch, what are you going to do, kids?
Switch.
Yeah, we're all going to switch at the same time to our second pitch. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. This is harmony. First row first. Ready, play. I really love harmony. In fact, I love it so much I want to hear it again. Okay, so everybody make sure you know what your first note is, and make sure you know what your second note is. Then make sure you see where those are on your instrument. Okay? And we're going to do it one more time. Just like we did. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. First row first. 1, 2, ready, go. Good job, guys. Put your mallets down. Head back to your seats for just a minute, and then we've got one last song to do on these instruments. But take your seat. All right. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I guess I was a little late on my slides. All right. I'm going to just talk for a couple minutes here because before our last piece, I want to say just a few kind of little announcement type things. I do have a YouTube channel, and this video right here is going to be on that YouTube channel really soon, and then I'll email that link to all the parents in the class. So if you know, a spouse or a grandparent would have liked to have seen this but wasn't able to come, you'll still be able to see it at home. Then also I want to say some big special thank yous to some groups who, without their help, our music room would not look anything like it looks today. In fact, when I came here in August, it just looked completely different. We hardly had any instruments, okay? And the instruments that we did have didn't work very well. So that brings me to thanking a few groups, starting with Zionsville West Middle School. I have a connection there with an administrator. My brother's the principal at Zionsville West. So anyways, we were talking one day, I was mentioning how, you know, I really wish we had more instruments. He knew that in his building they had a closet full of drums, these drums up here that hadn't been used in years and had no plans to be used because they weren't middle school drums, they're elementary school drums. So he's let me borrow these drums for our students, until forever, you know. So, so a big thank you to Zionsville West Middle School for that. Then I also want to thank the Zionsville Education Foundation, Zeph. And by the way, Lyle Brown is here today. Thank you for coming today to support us. Zeph provided us with almost all the mallet instruments you see here. And these instruments cost anywhere from $300 to $1,100 each. So it was a huge investment from Zeph, and we're so thankful because it really has transformed everything we can do in the classroom. Thank you. I hope we're going to put them to good use, and we do. We use them almost every day in music class, and I'll mention in a moment something else that Zeph is allowing me to do this summer. But first I'll thank the Boone Meadow PTO for the instrument stands and the camera that we're using to film today's Informance. And now back to Zeph. This summer they're sending me to Anderson University to become a better music teacher by getting my ORF certification. Now, ORF is a philosophy of music education that really believes that music isn't just singing. Like, singing is important, but there's so many more things we can do in music class. So music should involve movement, it should involve dance, it should involve instruments, it should involve music theory and reading music like you've seen us do today. So I'm going to take a 2-week course at Anderson University so that I can get that certification and bring some of those ideas back to the school for next year. Okay? Now, one last thing. I wouldn't let an opportunity go. And so I'm going to mention now we have a Donors Choose grant. Now, Donors Choose is a website that allows parents and supporters of the school system to donate to a need in a classroom. Now, of course, we have way less need than we did at the beginning of the year, but there are a few things left on my wish list. So I have a Donors Choose grant online right now for 2, they're called bass bars. And what these will allow the kids to do is hear that steady beat and even feel it, because they're really long notes, which means they create really low sounds. And it's like bass sounds, you can feel a bass. So that's a huge help when we're all trying to keep that steady beat without speeding up or slowing down. So if you're at all interested in that, there's no pressure, of course, but if you are interested, I have a flyer back here on a music stand, and on your way out, you can find more information there, as well as a link to my YouTube channel. Okay? All right, guys. I think I have just enough time to now show off our last activity, which comes from a book called 5 Little Monkeys Sitting in a Tree. One of my favorite things to do is to take books and create music out of the books with the kids' help. So it wouldn't really make sense if I didn't read the book first. So this will be story time with Mr. Doublestein. 5 little monkeys and their mama walk down to the river for a picnic supper. Mama spreads out a blanket and settles down for a snooze, while 5 little monkeys climb a tree to watch Mr. Crocodile. 5 little monkeys sitting in a tree tease Mr. Crocodile.
Can't catch me.
Along comes Mr. Crocodile, and snap! Oh no, where is she? 4 little monkeys sitting in a tree tease Mr. Crocodile.
Can't catch me.
Along comes Mr. Crocodile, and snap! Oh no, where is he? 3 little monkeys sitting in a tree tease Mr. Crocodile.
Can't catch me.
Along comes Mr. Crocodile.
Oh, boss.
Snap! Oh no, where is he? 2 little monkeys sitting in a tree tease Mr. Crocodile.
Can't catch me.
Along comes Mr. Crocodile. Snap! Oh no, where is she? Now there's only 1 little monkey sitting in a tree, teasing Mr. Crocodile.
Can't catch me.
Along comes Mr. Crocodile and snap. Oh no, there are no little monkeys sitting in the tree.
You can all see their tails and their bottoms.
Oh, you're right. Well, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 little monkeys sitting in the tree. Their mama hugs them. Their mama scolds them. Never tease a crocodile. It's not nice and it's dangerous. Then 5 little monkeys and their mama eat a delicious picnic supper. And they do not tease Mr. Crocodile again. Okay, so we're going to take this book and change it up just a little bit. Instead of doing 5 little monkeys sitting in a tree, we're going to do 10 little monkeys swinging in a tree. And in this, you guys will get to see the students improvise on their mallet instruments. Now, improvisation is a musical concept that basically means they're going to make it up as they go. But there are some parameters. They have a poem to say as their rhythm while they play on the notes. Will you guys say that poem with me? It goes like this. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. You guys may quietly go to a mallet instrument, and the kids are going to take off 3 notes. They'll take off their B and their 2 Fs. And the reason for this is because we're playing in the key of C, and in actually C pentatonic. And C pentatonic doesn't use the notes B or F or the other F. So we're just going to take them off. That's one of the great things about these instruments is if the note's not going to sound good in the context of the song, we can take it off. So using 2 hands, guys, when we carefully take off those notes, B, F, and F. All right, give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Good. All right. Now, as I promised earlier, we have more monkeys for this song. So if I call your name, monkeys, I'd like you to come to the middle. This will be like their little dance floor right up here. Let's have Devin, Aniston, Isla, Wyatt, Gabby, Daniel, Samuel, Andrew, Grace, and Prentice. Good, there's our 10 little monkeys. Now monkeys, you have to act like monkeys swinging through the trees. I will be the crocodile.
No.
I'll be looking for
Let's do double stick. Okay.
Now instrument players, you're going to be improvising. We'll all say the poem. Got it? So monkeys and instrument players, we all say the poem. Okay, parents, this is our kind of grand finale here. I hope you enjoy 10 little monkeys. 10 little monkeys swinging in a tree. Easy, Mr. Crocodile.
Can you catch me?
Along comes Mr. Crocodile, quiet as can be, and snap that monkey right out of that tree. Play.
See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile.
9 little monkeys. Easy, Mr. Crocodile. Along comes Mr. Crocodile. And snap that monkey right out of that tree. Play.
See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile.
8 little monkeys swinging in a tree. tree. It's easy, Mr. Crocodile.
Can't catch me.
Along came Mr. Crocodile. Wide as can be. And snap that monkey out of that tree. See you later. Swinging in a tree. It's easy, Mr. Crocodile. Along came Mr. Crocodile, wide as can be. Careful, careful. We gotta make sure we're staying within our boundaries here. Snap that monkey out of that tree. See you later. Mr. Crocodile. Along came Mr. Crocodile. And snap that monkey right out of that tree. 5 little monkeys swinging in a tree. Easy, Mr. Crocodile. Along came Mr. Crocodile. And snap that monkey right out of that tree. Mr. Crocodile.
Can't catch me.
Along came Mr. Crocodile, quiet as can be. And snap that monkey out of that tree. See you later. Teasing Mr. Crocodile.
Can't catch me.
Along came Mr. Crocodile, quiet as can be. And snap Mr. Crocodile. Along came Mr. Crocodile, quiet as can be. And snap that monkey right out of that tree. Teasing Mr. Crocodile.
Can't catch me.
Along came Mr. Crocodile, quiet as can be. And snap that monkey right
Out of that tree. See you later,
Good job, kids. Do me a favor and put your notes back on the instruments using 2 hands. Okay? I just wanted one more time to thank all the parents. I know probably some people had to take off work to be here today or maybe came from a long ways away. So thank you very much for joining us. Outside, you will see a bit of an art show. So your kids can show you where their art projects are. I'll have to do a pretty quick transition because I have our next informants coming in like 3 minutes. So, but I just want to thank you again, and don't forget about those flyers if you're interested on the music stand. And finally, let's just hear it one more time for these kids.